Babylon Planning Board. We do have an informational hearing regarding a cannabis warehouse facility. So why don't we start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Frank, could you lead us in the pledge, please? Thank you and welcome to the Town of Babylon Planning Board. Are we activated with the recording and with the broadcast? Okay. Today is the 18th of August, 2025. Before we begin the public hearing, I'm required to read this statement into the record. The Planning Board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the Planning Board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void. Could you take the roll, please?
Yep. Patrick Halpern.
Present.
Frank Santos. Julianne Nolan.
Present.
Gerald O'Neill.
Present.
Daniel Trucan.
Present.
Edward Nguyen.
Present.
Juan Leon.
Present.
Frank Gaxiola. Present. Rich Casey. And Emily Mull.
Okay, we have a quorum. Very good. Thank you. Here, hold on to this. Okay, why don't you call the first
Okay, the first
hearing?
tonight is an informational hearing for site plan review. It's to convert a 2,050 square foot of warehouse into an adult use cannabis dispensary along with associated site improvements.
Okay, who's here on behalf of the applicant? Okay, hold on. Did you fill out a card?
I did.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
I am Kevin Walsh from the firm Walsh, Marcus, McDougall, and DeBellis, 229 7th Street, Garden City, New York, appearing for the applicant, AB Can LLC.
Okay, this is a law firm, I presume?
It is.
Okay. Have you had the opportunity to review the memorandum regarding this application dated August 13th by Denise Graziano, the Commissioner of Planning and Development? Has that been reviewed with your client?
It has.
Are there any issues that your client has regarding any of the conditions, covenants and restrictions, or any restrictions?
No, I don't believe there are.
So they'll meet all of those requirements?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, as I said, I'm Kevin Walsh. I'm here tonight with the principal of AB Can LLC, which is Sue Samira, sitting here. Her husband is with her here. He will help advise on running the facility if it's approved. We thank you all for the opportunity to present this information at this hearing. As you know, and as I think we know, we've been through a number of departments here, and hopefully that it's worked its way to something that can be readily understood and hopefully approved at a formal hearing for that purpose. This is an application, it's a lease for my client that was about 1.5 years ago. We were not aware, or they were not aware when they engaged in the lease of the responsibility for an owner in changing a use in Babylon. There's a process, and we've worked our way through that process with the help of the planning department.
Excuse me, when did you begin this process?
We signed a lease 1.5 years ago.
Oh, a year and a
That's
half ago.
our beginning, not necessarily our beginning with you.
Okay.
But it took a while to realize what was at TEL, to get the professionals necessary to be able to make the application bring us here today. So this is, as you know, the address and you know the drawing. This is 111 Cabot in West Babylon. It's a storage facility approved in C of O. The application here is to take 2 of the storage units and convert them. Thank you for the site plan up there. It's to take 2 of the storage units and convert them to a cannabis dispensary. About 1/3 of the space that we would be converting, we would be taking over 2 of the units, the storage units. 1/3 of it will remain storage, but it will be storage interior, secured storage as is set forth on the floor plan that is before you, that you have.
Do we have that floor plan? Here we go. Okay.
So that would be a good look at the way the facility is going to operate. So you can look at that at the lower left-hand corner of the floor plan. There's a vestibule. It's a secure vestibule. Has 2 doors, and an exit door to the public, and then an interior door, which will remain secure. So a patron or someone, a customer comes up, they get admitted upon showing their identification.
Hold
They
on.
get admitted.
Where is the entrance again? Could you?
I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
this is my fault for moving too quickly,
No,
Mr. Chairman.
I'm just looking, I see exit, okay, that's it with the
Yeah,
end.
so, yes. So we have a New York State, we would not be here without a New York State license to dispense cannabis. So part of our license is an obligation to do it the way the state authorizes it. One of the conditions is we have to have a secure entranceway. We've set it up that way, so we have a secure vestibule. Upon satisfying the person that will be up at the vestibule, who will be an employee of the company, they will be admitted to the retail operation. As you go into the retail operation, you can see there's a number of casements for different products and the like. That what looks like a pond, if you had, it was a golf course, it would be a pond in the rear of it, is actually some growing items, just to give a feel for what you're purchasing.
Wait, you're going to be growing cannabis there?
Well, we have, no, not,
Okay,
what-
okay, hold
okay,
on.
they're fake plants.
No,
They're-
no,
they're-
talk, if you're going to say something, say it through him,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you.
Go ahead, what was the
So,
answer? They're fake
We're
plants?
fake plants, they are, to
Oh,
give a
okay.
feel for where they are.
right.
And then you can see at the top of that drawing, the area to the right says storage, secure storage. That area will be secured, and it'll be where we keep product there. So not much of the store, or I'm sorry, a portion of the store will remain storage, and the rest of it will be used for retail use. We have, going back to, or to the left, which is the site plan, you can see our space is shaded in that top, and then there are parking spaces. We've converted 2 additional parking spaces we've proposed on site.
Hold on. Where is it? Could we get to that part? Okay, there we go. Please.
So you can see right almost where those 2 spots, right where your the hand there is where the dumpster will be located, and then up above that, right there, is where 2 additional parking spaces have been created to provide for 18 parking spaces. And we have a building now is part warehouse and part retail.
Okay.
And so we believe it complies with parking. However, that's something we certainly have to take up as part of our application to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
So how much relief are you looking for from the Zoning Board of Appeals?
We need a special permit for the use, because
Okay.
it's cannabis, so and they will put conditions on that if we get that point. But there's a question of whether or not we need a variance for parking. I don't necessarily believe we do. I think we've shown 18 spaces. Our calculations show that between the warehouse use that remains and the introduction of the retail use, we comply. We have 18 spaces available for the public. So
All right.
I'm not asking the board to,
No, I understand. Our
analysis.
job is to look at the plan and see that the uses and all that work,
Yeah.
the zoning board and others will look at the issue regarding parking in this unique
understood.
setup.
Understood.
Okay.
Now, if we can go back to the aerial of the site. If you zoomed out on that, you would see that this is an industrial area. We are not located near any residences that I could see. And it's an ideal use for the location of the use that we're proposing. The building that we're going into, as I said, is warehouse. So even though I believe we comply with parking, there is not much parking use there for the other establishments because they're basically storage facilities and they get very little parking need over there. So the proposal pursuant to our license with the state would be to open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, 7 days a week. For your information, we were talking about employees. So my client, Sue, would be running the facility. She'd be there at all times virtually. And she would have approximately 3 people working it with her. There's about 7 or 8 employees we have in the loop, but based on the hours, they would not be working a full day each. So we expect to have anywhere from 3 to 4 people from the facility there every day. And so they'll be conducting the operations there. This size of our space is 2,050 square feet, by the way. And garbage, this is a very benign use as it terms rubbish and the like, so we're going to use the dumpster out there. We have proposed, and I think
Sorry,
if,
where's the dumpster?
oh, it's
Hold on,
just
hold on. Is that right there?
right there,
Okay.
where the hand is. We have proposed substantial, through planning and discussion with the various departments, upgrades to the facility in terms of drainage, some landscaping, all that Mr. Farrar can address better as the architect for the project, and I would turn it over to him at this point, but we've proposed all these to basically improve this building, to improve the, every building you take and you go into, we're a tenant there in a smaller area, but that's the requirement, and we are committed to doing that.
Do any of the board members have any questions? Jerry?
Could I see the floor plan again? By the vestibule, you have something labeled exit. Is that the entrance and the exit?
Yeah, yes, I think that's the only,
I don't see any other exit from the building.
Hold on. We'll hold that, because we have to swear you in, so we have that as a part of the
Okay.
record.
So,
I can answer, because I can look at it like you apparently
so
did. It's
there's
one ingress and egress to the one story, yes.
okay. Is that okay?
We will ask our planning, is that appropriate? Okay, we'll double check that.
Thank you.
We'll also ask your person. Dan?
So you're a tenant in this building, and there's 8 storage units, and you're occupying 2 of the 8, right?
That's the numbers, yes.
Okay. So what is the shared wall between Unit 3 and your storage space going to be constructed of? Because
Can
All
I,
right, hold that question. Okay, hold on.
sorry.
We'll
I'm
hold
just
that
not-
question for you. Okay. All right. Any other questions for the attorney? All right, well, let's get the architect. Oh, hold on, Julianne, I'm sorry.
Could you explain your security inside and outside? If you offer deliveries, and you mentioned Sue will be working virtually, do you mean as logged into cameras, or do you mean physically in the facility? When you say virtually?
no, I meant virtually all the time, not virtually working. I'm sorry, that's.
Thank you for the
okay.
clarification on that.
She will be on site.
It's called a synonym.
Now, the,
It makes English so difficult sometimes.
the other question you had about deliveries, I'll answer. We have, our New York State license permits us to make deliveries, so it's not initially going to start with the opening, but we expect that there'll be customers that are going to look for deliveries. The deliveries would all be done pursuant to our license in a vehicle owned by the company, and one of the employees would go out and make the deliveries on a scheduled basis when an order comes in. And the first question, I'm not sure you got, was that?
Security.
Oh, security. So there's, as I said, there's one entrance and egress. There's a locked door. The door to the interior space will also be able to be opened or not opened, depending upon whether the person permits the entrance, authorization of the person to enter. And the door in connection with the storage area will be locked and opened only by employees. Do we have cameras? Sorry, we do have cameras that will be interior and exterior. There will be interior and exterior, and I think there's a room, that area there, I think is
It says surveillance room.
the surveillance room, yeah. So many of these requirements are dictated by the city, New York State, excuse me, not the city.
So when you say delivery, one of your employees delivers, is that someone that's already employed and working in there during the day? Or is it to remove from one of the employees working, or is it another employee?
So depending upon how busy we ultimately become, initially we start out with the thought that 3 employees working there could be enough to allow someone to make a delivery. But it might well be that 4th person that I mentioned The additional person would have to be, we'd have to put someone on if it got relatively busy with deliveries. So, you know, it's a little bit of a floating concept until we see how the business is going to run.
And do you know the occupancy maximum?
Do we have the occupancy mix? Yep, give it to me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that, yeah, if you don't mind, so he can answer any follow-ups you might have.
Any other questions?
So there's one exit and entrance. Are there any other exits or entrances for emergency purposes that you're aware of?
No, they're not on a plan.
Okay. So that is the only way to get in and out of this building?
Our share of the building, yes, our
Okay.
space.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Dan?
You mentioned that they're going to be doing deliveries with a company.
Yes.
Is that vehicle going to be parked overnight at the site?
No, it would not be. Well, excuse me for that. I have to inquire to make sure I
No,
put the
we-
right
we
answer on that.
understand.
And I will do that.
All right. Any other questions for the attorney? Okay. Okay,
Mr.
please.
Walsh, can you tell us the location of the nearest cannabis dispensary and how far it is from this establishment?
I cannot. I'll ask my team or anyone else if they know.
We'll save that for,
Mr. Ferrara believes there is, the closest one might be 4 miles away on Route 110.
Okay, because you're aware of all the dimensional distance requirements to other dispensaries, to playgrounds, to all that, and you've reviewed that, and I would imagine your testimony is, or your presentation, that you meet all those requirements.
Yeah, I believe that we do. And it was 1,000 square feet to another dispensary, but at least right now, we didn't note any within 1,000 feet.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
all right, sir? Did you fill out a form? Okay, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Salvatore Ferrara. I'm an architect. The name of my firm is Combined Resources Consulting and Design. We're located at 155 First Street in Mineola, New York.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please proceed.
We've been working on this job, and just to clarify some of the questions, the way the state code reads is you're allowed to have a single exit as long as the facility is under a certain amount of people and a certain amount of distance from the farthest corner, which if you look at the diagram that's up on the screen, you'll see there is a dark line that runs from the far bottom right of the facility up around the top through the vestibule. And that is the path of travel. So that is the guiding requirement that we have. So that is how we determined that you could get from one side to the other with just one exit. The state also mandates to have limited amount of entrances and exits for the obvious reasons that, you know, they're trying to keep these places as secure as possible. So the vestibule is actually a man trap, so we can control who's coming in and going out. People going out are subject to the same rigorous requirements of having the doors open and closed so that if somebody is walking out with something, they can be held as well.
So just to get a finer point on that, if somebody is walking in and somebody is walking out at the same time, how will that be managed?
Again, it would be managed by whoever is at the control desk, which would be visible to that vestibule. They'd be able to control who can come in and go out, and there would be some visual as well as some voice to say, wait until the one person leaves before you come in.
So some doors, if the outer door is open, the inner door will not open. Is that the case in this situation, that one door has to be closed for the other to open?
Yes,
And if there's a fire, the alarm triggers that both door fail-safe open?
correct. Once the fire alarm is tripped, the doors fail safe in an open position so that anybody can get out.
Okay.
Right. If you look at the plan that's up on the screen, you'll see on the right side of the screen, that is where we have all of our storage. So it's basically tall shelving There are mandates for the type of materials that are being stored and how they're being stored, but they're largely stored on shelves and in boxes or in bins that are on those shelves. In the center wall, which is, you can see there are like two sets of dark lines that are in the center wall. That's actually the pass-through. So the people on the storage side are basically collecting the money and passing the deliverables through a windowed opening, similar to what you would have as a teller's station in a bank. Again, the security is very tight in the way we do these. They're not allowed to walk the materials out. The stuff that's on the display is largely just the incidentals of what's there. It's not the actual product for the most part. You might have some things that are there that are carryable items that are paraphernalia that go along with the enjoyment of marijuana. But for those things, those are not necessarily the actual chemicals or the distributables that are being in the secured area. Because this is under the state requirement, we do have certain requirements to secure the windows. So the front windows have gates on the back side of them. There are some issues with the fire marshal, so we have to have at least the main entrance does not have the gate behind it, so that if there is a fireman that, for whatever reason, goes in through the roof, they don't get trapped for a fire, they can get back out. So we've met those needs with the fire marshal. We've spoke to Inspector Bambino, and we've come to an agreement on that. Similarly, for the length of travel and the single exit, we've worked with Rich Normoyle in the building department and arrived that is acceptable means of egress. So we've done our due diligence with the various control agents in the town to make sure that we've presented this correctly and that our presentation tonight is as accurate as possible.
Is there any requirement for sprinklers?
There are no sprinklers in the building at this point. What we did do, and again, it was something that we took upon ourselves. So the building is listed as what they call an S1, a low hazard storage building. But in our conversations, low hazard has a specific type of storage that it could be. And we don't really have any control over what the unit next door might put in there. Who knows? Maybe he puts in a container of gasoline or something. So what we've done is we've created, which is an existing CMU wall that's in place that was there from when the building was built, which is a 1-hour rated wall. We've added another 1-hour wall adjacent to it on our side, creating effectively a full 2-hour barrier, which brings us above the standard. I had a dear friend who was the head of the building department in Garden City, and his rule of thumb was always the code is the minimum standard, you could always do better. So in this case, we decided to take it one notch better just because we really can't control what's in the bin next to us.
Any other questions? Thank you. Dan?
So the wall that's shared between you guys and the storage unit, that's not your space. That's only being constructed of drywall and regular, there's no metal mesh or anything for security purposes
No.
or anything like that?
No, the existing wall is a 10-inch CMU block. Largely, it's a fire block, so it's got a much denser capacity than just a standard, what we would call in layman's terms cinder block, which is a larger void and a less dense material. So these were actually put in as part of a control for the original fire separation. So we have a 10-inch CMU wall, and then, then a 1-hour wall built up against it on our side to give us that extra level of security.
And then I know you mentioned that you meet all the fire codes, but you were talking about the occupancy rate was only on the left side, which is the retail side. Is the whole exiting and fire based on both spaces or just the one?
No, it's based on both, but if you could see on the storage side, we don't really have much of an occupancy.
Okay.
It's largely storage. We have 2 windows. We have what we call the security room, which could also be an office type space that she would use during the day. But with only a few employees in the space, some people would be out on the retail floor, some people would be behind the wall. So we don't have a great deal of occupancy in the entire space in the terms of employees, and we don't really foresee big occupancy in terms of people coming, from Huntington to come down to Babylon to enter this space, a good deal of the product would be moved, as part of that, loaded onto the SUV or car that's doing the distribution. Orders are taken off the internet, more readily than actually having people, drive into the area these days. The area, just to answer one of the other questions, is a fairly desolate area. It backs up to the cemeteries. It's really no housing in the area at all, no schools in the area. So
Hold on.
this is
Can
an
we ask our
optimum
planner,
location.
Could you pull up that and go out?
Yeah,
as
if you
much as
zoom
can
out.
So we can see that? Okay, good.
Yeah, so you have a recycling to the east of it. You have cemeteries north and south of it, and to the west of it, and the rest of it is just industrial. It truly is the perfect area for this because it does not affect any schools. It does not affect playgrounds, does not affect residential. It is truly an isolated area, and it is a perfect opportunity for this.
Got it.
The security that's going to be checking people coming in, will they be armed?
No,
They won't be.
no.
And is the
Not to
security
my
part of the
knowledge.
three to four employees that's going to be there daily?
Yeah. Again, at the beginning, it may only be, 2. One person might be doing the driving. It may then go to 4 and one person doing the deliveries. But, right now, the anticipation is at a maximum 4 employees, and we anticipate at any given point not to have much more than, 8 to 10, retailers in the space.
Okay, any other questions, Frank?
Yeah, thank you. Hi. 2 questions. Where the 2 added parking spaces are now,
Yes.
is there room for a turnaround for the dumpster?
Yes, so, it's a tight space back there, and that's why we were saying that it's really up to the zoning approval. That space right now, behind it is kind of a outdoor, just like a little grass area behind there, and that was a storage area. So we took it out as a storage area, because in Babylon, storage areas exterior also require parking. So in order to minimize it, the owner of the building said, well, it was his boat sitting there or something. So he was willing to take that away and allow us to put the 2 parking spots on. So the civil drawings did do a whole analysis to make sure that a garbage truck could get in there, pull forward. You can see the 2 spaces are a little bit set back from the face of the building on the southeast corner, so that the truck could pull in and then back up towards the containers. Again, there is no real, quantity of material that's being, presented to the trash bin from the other remaining warehouse uses. They're fairly benign uses. They come and they go either late at night or in the morning. Most of them are contractor-type things where they're storing either materials for the next day's work or bringing stuff out to bring to, job
Or
sites.
they're going to roll out the dumpsters? It's not going to be that the truck comes in?
Right. The truck, you can see on the drawing that's up there, the truck can fit in there, and the
Right.
truck can actually pull up and then back up towards the bin. They would roll the bins out and then take them out. Right. Yeah, this is a fully enclosed bin, meets the requirements of planning department's size and shielding for the look of the bin. So it has been through your department for that.
Okay. And the delivery of the product? Coming in, obviously you don't have another door, so that comes in what time of day?
Usually it also comes in it's either like an SUV that they would, be in control of. The materials do not come in on big trucks or anything like that. They're small boxes for the most part with, varieties of different things. But yes, everything would come in before hours and be, brought into the facility, so you don't have that control thing where you got people trying to come in while you're trying to move materials and the doors are all open. So yes, starting at 10 o'clock gives them an opportunity to really, do whatever they need to do in terms of moving materials prior to having any of the, retail uses in place.
Okay, are there any other questions? No? Owen? Okay. Sir, thank you very much. Do your clients want to address the board at all? Okay, well, you have to come up here if you're going to speak to us. If you don't want to speak to us, you don't have to.
No, I just
Please state, hold on, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Sumira Basin. I reside at 2224 Dolphin Lane, Holbrook. And
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
Okay. You're going to be managing this facility on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, I will be there with a manager also. There will be a manager, full-time manager as well.
Okay. All right, we're looking at,
And my husband, he owns a dispensary. So we have experience in, running dispensaries.
and
all
where is that dispensary?
That is in Vermont, state of Vermont, in Burlington.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Hold on. You have to come back up here then.
So just as a note, on your screens right now is the elevation or the rendering that we're looking to accomplish. This is, for all intents and purposes, a masonry concrete building with steel roll-down doors. It is nothing of any sense of attractiveness. We worked fairly diligently to try and craft a simple facade that was also not only attractive, but elegant in some way to call out the location of our particular facility. We are adding some landscaping because all of the gas meters are located on the face of the front wall. We are also adding a canopy so that, because we are controlling people coming in and out, if you have to wait outside, we didn't want them to be waiting out in the rain. So we're adding a canopy, and for their own protection, because it is just an asphalt driveway now, we will put in some paving in the area in front of the door and where we perceive the queuing to be, with some bollards with some lights on it, again, to make it presentable and safe for the clientele that would be waiting.
Okay. Any questions about the rendering? No? Jared? Nothing?
Looks good.
I'm sorry, Dan?
Sorry. I've never seen a proposal that they didn't occupy the whole building. So the roof access and everything, where is that?
There is no roof access. It's a one-story building.
So where are the?
It's a ladder, basically, you would climb.
Right, so where's the, so is that locked? Who maintains that lock? Where's your HVAC units located? How do you maintenance them? All those things.
They're on the top of the building, as most would be. We're using split units, so, there would be, obviously a hole that would bring fresh air through to enhance that. But the building currently does not have a roof hatch. It is access, it's, I think, about 15 feet to the roof. I'm not exactly sure of that off the top of my head, but basically they access it now with a ladder off the side of the building.
But there's a ladder. Is it? Does it
It's
have
not a
any-
permanent ladder. Whoever goes up there just brings a ladder to get up there. So there's not a ladder that's a fixed
Got it.
ladder that
Okay.
anybody can climb
Thank
up.
you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the rendering? No. All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the board regarding this application? I don't see anyone from the public that's here, and therefore they don't want to address the board. So thank you very much. We appreciate the presentation. I'm going to request from the board a motion to close this hearing and to reserve decision. A motion by Julianne. Okay, second by Dan.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The hearing is closed. The decision, though, will be reserved in order for us to review any feedback or any open site plans. The record will remain open for written comments to follow up on the status of the application or submitted written comments. People can contact the planning department in a number of different ways. In person, planning is located in the west wing of Town Hall. Application documents, plans are available for inspection between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or by phone, 631-957-3103, or via email, planning comments, that's one word, planning comments @townofbabylonny.gov. Okay, thank you very much.